Hi Sages, and welcome to your September 2018 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here, coming in to hopefully positively motivate you and prescribe some purpose for you in this actually quite volatile for some, but also rewarding month for Sagittarius. So what are you working with this month, Sag? Who knows? You are kind of in a complete, I don't want to say void, but not really knowing what direction to take moving into September. I do feel that this is changing for you, though. There's much more positive here than you're realizing because something's feeling quite stark and bleak. I mean, you do have a bit of darkness lingering around, but brightness that I feel overcomes the lingering darkness. So do feel a sense of hope this month, please, because I do think that you are really overcoming something and really making the best of a situation that has been giving you a struggle for a while. So what's been giving you a struggle for a while, Sagittarius? I think that there is something there that you're not quite even seeing yet. Really getting down to the understanding of what's not right is important, which is not in your nature, but we have Jupiter in Scorpio, which is all about magnetizing and expanding what is not right. So it's time to get with that program and really weed out the problem area. And you don't have to be there for very long. Some of you can be done with this by September. For others of you, it may take more towards November, which to be excited for is when Jupiter goes into your sign of Sagittarius in November. That is going to be an incredible time, but there might be a bit of preparations that have to be made in order for that time to be incredible. So what is that for you, Sagittarius? Really formulating this month and really thinking, okay, what plus what is going to give me that incredible experience? You don't have to try too hard with that, because for some of you that might even backfire a little bit by trying too hard, but there has to be just a little bit of attention on what has not worked out well, what has led you to Five of Cups or the Tower, and how do you plan on building something even better? Because do remember, Sag, is that when something gets destroyed or deleted or removed or tested in life, it is with the effort to build it much better and stronger in the future. So if you've come down with like a health problem, or you have no energy, you're very fatigued, like the thyroid is out, whatever it is, it's important to realize that that is an attempt by your wonderful planet Jupiter to weed out problems, make them worse right now, so you can treat them and get them better to function at a higher level than you did before. Sag is one of those signs that can experience like a sudden miraculous healing or a sudden miraculous change in events, which is possible for you like next year. But right now it's about you almost in a Virgo way, because we are in Virgo time here in the beginning of September, almost like a Virgo fixing problems and really formulating and navigating and working your way through any problem area. So do not be worried, as I was saying and keep saying, about things which don't feel right. The health doesn't feel right. Go to the doctor, work on it, figure out what it is. Don't pretend it doesn't exist. But at the same time, don't worry too much about it because it doesn't feel very permanent here, which is wonderful. Purpose and creativity is a big deal and will continue to sort of raise more and more as we work up to November. You're feeling a little bit sapped of it maybe, but it is ultimately what this month is about, doing something creative. So like writing the album, working on the book, thinking about the branding opportunity, really letting your creative juices flow, new ways to make money, new ways to make yourself healthy again. Is like creative solutions to health problems could be an interesting place for Sag to be. So for you like Sages who are doctors or who are like doing scientific research on health, like this is a really good territory. Like good for you. You're gonna make some progress and you're gonna find something out here, really creatively solving the health problems of people. Like if you're a doctor, and even if you're not like a doctor, you may really easily be able to see in other people what's not right. Like people are like, oh my gosh, my skin is so bad, I can't keep my skin clear. And you're like, it's the liver, or you're like, it's the kidneys. And people are like, I never thought of that. And it ends up being right. Like there's a strong intuition within Sag about where the problem area is. Like also like with someone's house, like someone's house has like termites or something. And you're like, no, it's not because of the wood, it's because of the location that the house is at. And you have like all of this like really strong insight into what is causing what kinds of problems. So those are obviously just random examples, but it could be happening. So anything that requires inspections or investigations is good territory for you because you have a good sixth sense for what the problem area is. When this becomes an issue though, Sag, is when, we're spending a lot of time in solitude. We're not doing that much. We're hiding under the covers and we're thinking, oh my God, my hands are shaking a little bit. I have a bit of a tremor. I have a brain tumor or something insane like that. Like, so Sag can be a bit of a hypochondriac under this type of energy, and this has been the case since Jupiter went into Scorpio. Not for all of you, but you're going to realize that incredible sense that you have, that incredible sense of, getting behind the problem. And if there's not enough stimulation from outside sources with that, you may start to think that your like fears, which is not too typical for Sag, but you might start to think that your fears are that sixth sense. So you're like, oh my God, I have a terrible disease. I have an incredible sixth sense. I must be right. What do I do? This is where we have to watch out, Sagittarius. And there has to be like a dissonance or a disconnect from self-diagnosing as much. I mean, some Sagittarius can do it good here and now. Not many, though. I've got to say, not many Sagittarius can do too well with self-diagnosis. Unless you're being like really formulaic and almost like looking at yourself from an external position as if you were a different person, but then that gets all complicated and could become a problem in and of itself. And as I was saying at the beginning, like there is a need for Sagittarius to think about what is going wrong within, but pursuing it from other people is something that I may not have made clear enough, but that I feel really strongly now. Like, be to the doctor, be to the accountant, to the whatever the problem area is, and be getting advice, because it feels like you're also blessed with the types of contacts that you have. So, you've gone through a trauma or you've gone through some kind of difficult experience. It's okay to try to figure out what's wrong with yourself, especially if you're kind of looking at it from another person's perspective. That's good. But, to a certain limit, it's good for Sagittarius to not be overwhelmingly connected into figuring out what's wrong within themselves, because I'm just sensing there's a tendency to really perhaps even exaggerate what the problem is, and then it's like I said, you have like a slight shake in your hands and it becomes like this huge deal or something, and then you're like, oh my God, it's in my whole body, and there's like even a hysterical tendency there, but very temporary, not lasting long. By third week of September, you're already probably out of that possibility in the first place. Try to remember that you're here for a reason, and that you're here in the current place with protection, as I feel Sag to be very protected, even though they might feel quite despondent. And ultimately, the sun is your central theme this month. So overcoming, healing, cleansing, purifying, brightening, and illuminating is the entire purpose of everything that happens here. So no fear. It's not a month where you like die or have some sort of terrible experience happen. It's like, it is a month of uplifting. So through whatever means you start to see unraveling or coming up in your life, remember that it's on behalf of healing. Sometimes the body does strange things to heal itself, and you don't have, like, by really worrying about those things, you're kind of like telling your body to stop doing what it's doing to heal itself, and it could be a bit of a healing crisis even for some of you. So don't be scared of what happens within, or even in the emotional spectrums, or connecting with other people, because ultimately it's healing, whatever the issue is. But anyway, Sagittarius, I'm going to go ahead and get into the week to week before I keep going on and on. In the first week of September, you have Ace of Wands reversed, rooted down by the High Priestess reversed. So you are feeling a bit creatively drained here. There is creative energy. Any ace is a sign that there is a new beginning and a new abundance of energy relating to that suit, which it's Wands, which deals with creativity, purpose, ambition, the fire element. So there is new energy coming in for you, like just energy to be able to create, to be able to, go about the routine that you've set up. But you might feel spiritually disconnected from it. The High Priestess reversed. It's kind of like, why am I really doing this? What is the higher purpose of what I'm doing? So I have this job in construction and I want a promotion, but what does me hammering nails for my entire life really do? It's a lot of that type of thing. And I think that you really have to pull back from a huge long-term thought process right now. That was for when Saturn was in your sign, like through 2016 and 17. That's where the long-term goals got catalyzed. Not to say you can't change it now, but you're not going to be blessed with the same clarity into the long term as you were then. So try to think a bit myopically here, I want to say. Don't be afraid of being a little bit short-sighted. That's actually encouraged for a small bit of time here and now, because too much long-term sight sees you really questioning the things that are actually doing you well right now. Okay, in the second week you have King of Swords rooted down by the Empress reversed. So you're thinking about what got cut off, or what you were working on for a long time that didn't pan out. The Empress reversed is all about fertility and about the ability to create and manifest. So you're seeing that reversed and you're thinking about, what haven't I been able to manifest? Or why didn't that turn out the way that I need it to? Why does someone who puts in less work than me get so much more turnout than I do? And there is something there. There's something to think about, like, in your formula, because King of Swords is all about analyzing and all about calibrating and making a system which is much more seamless. So how can you make your system of production more seamless and demonstrative of the creative energy that you do have? Because there's not a lack of creative energy, Sag. There's a questioning of the energy that's happening that's sort of inhibiting you, if there is any inhibition happening. For some of you, especially those of you with like a lot of Capricorn, this is really a non-issue because you're going to be like rising up one way or another. But for those of you with like not much Capricorn in your chart, for example, like you're just going to have a tendency to question why things aren't working out. Again, you don't have to be too philosophical about it. You don't have to be too long-term winded with this type of thing, just because it's like you could be spending time making it better versus philosophically rambling and like losing time. But the second week's a great time to make a new formula, even like a new routine. And for some of you it could be like a new health routine, so like a new diet or a new like circadian rhythm, getting up earlier. Morning people, like morning Sag should be a morning person in September, I feel, which is like interesting for me too, as I have a lot of Sag and I'm quite nocturnal. So anyway, it would be good for Sag to be a morning person, getting up earlier, spending time in the sun, not accomplishing all of their things at nighttime. But you know, a little bit of nighttime feels okay, but more of a diurnal purpose map is good for Sag, and that will really help you to manifest a lot more. I think if you're working on a newer type of clock, or introducing something into your diet, or a new type of actually like enjoyment, like a routine of enjoyment. So like when you're doing the things you enjoy and really making that a common repetitive thing really helps. Now in week number 3, you have Queen of Pentacles rooted down by the Tower. So yeah, I don't feel this to actually be, for many of you, like an unexpected type of falling out happening, but you're thinking about that type of thing. So maybe someone from your past, like an ex from the past or something, has reemerged, or maybe you're seeing that what felt right led to a lot of disarray, and you're kind of worried about that. You're like, that felt really right to me, but it ended up like almost ruining my life. Why would something that feels right be so deadly or so lethal? And it's kind of complicated for Sagittarius, because that which is authentic, or that which gives you a lot of fulfillment, changes regularly. Okay, so what happens is you might like want to start to establish that routine, or you might want to, really make what you're enjoying like your life. So you like start to enjoy making advertisements for businesses or something, and you're like really enjoying marketing, and you're like, yeah, this feels right to me, and you're like, I've got to make this my entire life. I can make 6 figures doing this, whatever it is. And then like 2 months later it's completely shifted, and you're like, well, I spent all that investment. And there's a need to integrate the follow-up. So like, being there for yourself and like forcing yourself to do things even when it's like not so fun, while at the same time knowing when something has run its course. So being able to see like what like starting your own business, what is a problem and what is like boredom. Okay, so like when there's a difference between like, oh no, I've got to deal with a strong inconvenience relating to my job, that means this isn't right for me because it's not fun anymore, versus this really like this marketing and advertisement is actually feeding into like an elitist type of mentality that goes against like my ethics as a person, and it's not right because it goes against my ethics. So like understanding when something is just like wanting to be avoided because of, I don't want to say laziness, but versus when something is something like actually really not right. Okay, make sure that you're tapping into that, because it does feel like Sag might have like a tendency to haphazardly walk away from something because it's just like not perfect anymore. But do walk away from the things which are actually not right. Just really sit with yourself with things relating to ethics, morals, virtues, all of that type of stuff, because I do feel like you've really got to adhere to what represents you, like what is Sagittarius, what is you as like a brand or as a person, and not stray from that. Okay. And it does feel like you can innovate. You know, moving into the fourth week, there's like Knight of Pentacles reversed or down by Five of Cups. Innovation may be the key to overcoming a regret there, because you are kind of regretting maybe the way you spent money, the way that you've jumped into the next career, or spending the time that you have in the current career. There's a sense of like feeling like you've messed up. You know, Five of Cups is about like spilled cups, glass half empty, all of that. Why is the glass half empty, Sag? You're an optimistic person. Let's fill those glasses up. Let's look at what's right. Let's think about how this loss could potentially have been what gave you what you needed to make what you actually need. So these cups spill out. Now you have a lot less of a burden to carry. Or, you know, you spent that money on that business that fell through. Now you have a lot of knowledge about that sector of the market, this type of thing, you know, trying to understand that there's probably a purpose for loss right now. And I don't even feel that it's recent. Like, this is coming from like March, April 2018 for a lot of you, actually. There's like it's a loss, or it's it's long-winded, Sag, and it's hard for me to even get into because it's like feeling cumbersome to me, that energy. So it's time to probably leave it behind. And, you know, if grief and bereavement has entered in, if something new has come up, allow yourself that time to feel that and allow yourself that time to work with it. But take something creative from it, take a bit of motivation, take a bit of purpose, and turn it into something that, you know, at the least is like a nice cupcake or something for you. Like, give yourself something nice in the fourth week. Towards the end of September, we get into Libra time. Reward yourself, give yourself something. You are going to be having so much more abundance soon, towards the end of this year. Do not get stuck on whatever it is here. It's not that as big of a deal as it might feel, for sure. The sun is your central theme. I'm so happy for that. It feels really nice to pursue family. It feels really nice to be connected with people who feel like family. Having like a lot of people around you is good. It's the dog year and the Chinese zodiac. It's all about being connected to many and having a sense of community and having a sense of reliability, and really being open to who's in and around you. So enjoy this, because I think that Sagittarius is thriving a lot to have people around in the way that they are this month. New platonic friendships, new romantic relationships for some of you who are single, and ultimately a new relationship with yourself coming up. But anyway, Sagittarius, I feel that that is a sensical place to conclude the reading. You can check out your sun, moon, rising sign if you would like more clarification. Also, you can check the description box below to find me on social media. Your subscriptions, likes, and comments make my day. Also, Amazon was nice enough to provide a link for a 30-day free trial of Prime. It's a completely free way to support my channel. That's in the description box below at the bottom. Again, it's a nice way to support my channel, completely free, no commitments, and you can also get a wonderful, very fun service in a free trial format for a whole month. So I just really like that from Amazon, and I use Prime Video too. It's really, like, I actually kind of like it more than Netflix, to be honest. It's so crisp and like so high quality. But anyway, I'm wishing you, Sagittarius, much love and much abundance during this time, and let's get through to October. Much love. Talk soon. Bye.